Good morning, students. In the last session, we have discussed about the details of epithelial tissues. Now, let us discuss about the second animal tissue, that is connective tissues. Okay. What is connective tissue? The tissue which connects or supports or binds or even separates different organs or parts or tissues of the animal body. The tissue which connects or supports or binds or even separates different organs or parts or tissues in the animal body is called connective tissue. Every connective tissue has got a particular basic structure. Hence, in all connective tissues, three common components are present. They are a matrix, cells and fibers. Matrix, cells and fibers. So the basic structure of connective tissue. The cells which are connected by the fibers are suspended in a matrix. In every connective tissue, what are present? The cells that are connected by fibers are suspended in a matrix. They are suspended in a matrix. If this matrix is rigid or hard, then it forms hard or solid connective tissue, like bone. If this matrix is semi-solid or semi-soft type, not hard, it is of soft type, then it will form semi-solid or soft connective tissue, like cartilage. If the matrix is liquid, then it forms liquid connective tissue, that is blood. Many of us don't know that blood is connective tissue. Yes, it is connective tissue because it has got cells that are connected by fibers suspended in liquid matrix. So, blood is the only liquid connective tissue. Now, let us discuss about various types of connective tissues. Okay, there are different connective tissues in our body, like blood, bone, ligament, tendon, cartilage, areolar connective tissue, adipose tissue. Like 7 types of connective tissues we are going to discuss now. What are they? Blood. In the blood, there is a fluid matrix, which is also called plasma. Within this plasma, many types of cells, not many, like 3 types of cells actually to speak. 3 types of cells are present, which we all know. Red blood cells, which are also called erythrocytes. White blood cells, which are also called leukocytes. And platelets, which are also called thrombocytes. So these 3 types of cells are present. And in blood plasma, along with the blood cells, proteins and different types of salts and hormones also are present. In the blood plasma, along with the blood cells, proteins, different types of salts and hormones are present. And what is the function of blood? As a liquid connective tissue, blood connects various parts. Along with that, because it flows through all over the body, through all parts of the body, blood flows. So, blood connects all parts of the body with one to each other. And while connecting, what it is doing? Blood transports the final digested end products like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, etc. from small intestine to various parts of the body, to all cells of the parts of the body, and respiratory gases from lungs to all parts of the body, the oxygen, and from all parts of the body to lungs, carbon dioxide is carried by the blood, and The endocrine glands, they secrete hormones. And these hormones, actually they have got their role in some other parts, which is distantly located from endocrine glands. But how these hormones are transported to those parts? Endocrine glands do not have any tubes or ducts. That's why they are called ductless glands. So they simply release their hormones into the blood, and blood transports these hormones to various targeted areas of the body. So blood transports the final digested end products, respiratory gases and hormones. Okay. Apart from all, by cellular respiration, various nitrogenous waste materials are formed inside each and every cell. These nitrogenous waste materials should not be accumulated in the body. So they carry these nitrogenous waste materials from all the blood carries the nitrogenous waste materials from all the cells to excretory system, that is to the kidneys. So totally blood transport what? Final digested end products, respiratory gases, hormones and waste materials to different parts of the body. So this is about blood. And coming to bone. Bone is strong and non-flexible tissue. It is very strong. Bone is very strong and it is non-flexible tissue. And inside the bone only one type of cells are present, which are called bone cells. Scientifically they are osteocytes. And where they are present, the bone cells are suspended, are embedded in hard matrix. This hard matrix is made up of minerals. What are those minerals that make up the bone matrix? Calcium and phosphorus compounds. The mineral compounds that make up the bone matrix, which is hard, that is calcium and phosphorus. Calcium and phosphorus compounds, they make up the hard matrix of the bone. And what are the functions of bone? We all know our skeleton is made up of bone. So what is the role of the skeleton? It provides the framework. How our body is in this particular shape because of the skeleton that is present in our body. That skeleton is made up of bone. So bone forms the framework of the body. Does it give only the framework or shape or something else? It provides the support, mechanical support. Our body will not fall that easily because of the presence of bone in it. Okay. So it forms the framework of the body to give support. It anchors the muscles. Our muscles are attached to which particular part? The skeletal muscles, we call them, because they are associated to skeleton or the framework. So it anchors the muscles. The bone anchors the muscles and it supports the main organs. Like inside our rib cage, lungs and heart are present. Why inside the rib cage? Because bones and muscles both together they form the rib cage, and it offers the protection to the sensitive and important and vital organs like lungs and heart. Okay. So next, coming to ligament. Our bones, there are 206 bones in our body, and bones are joined with each other at different places. Okay. Two bones are connected with each other by a special connective tissue called ligament. Two bones are connected to each other. And this ligament contains very less matrix, very little matrix in it. Okay. And which type of cells are present, all those things let us learn in higher classes, not now. Right? And this ligament has got two important properties. It is highly elastic and moderately strengthy. The ligaments are highly elastic because we need to just keep moving our bones so frequently. So in order to allow this movement, okay, and not just allowing them to get aparted from each other, the bones should not get aparted from each other, but should be getting connected with each other. How is it possible? If the connecting tissue is elastic enough, then only it is possible. So the ligaments are highly elastic and moderate in strength. Okay. Why moderate in strength? They don't need to exert any pressure. They only allow elasticity, and they have to keep the bones connected with each other. Coming to tendons, muscle and bone. Muscles are associated with the bones. Okay, so muscle, how it is associated with bone? By the special connective tissue called tendon. Tendons connect muscle and bone. Okay, and it is a fibrous tissue. The tendon is a fibrous tissue, right? And tendons offer great strength, but not that much elasticity. It is opposite to ligament. Ligaments are highly elastic and moderate strength. Okay, moderately strengthy. Whereas tendons are what? Having great strength with moderate elasticity. Why? Because muscle is connected to the bone, not at the joints, okay, but along with the bone. At the joint here, there is no muscle. Okay, muscle starts from here. Okay, muscle always, you can observe even in the chicken bones and all. Generally, muscle at the joint, okay, of two bones, muscle will not be present. But along with the bone, muscle will be present. So when bone is moving, okay, along with that, muscle also will move. But in between two bones, muscle is not there. So it doesn't require much elasticity. But along with the bone, always it must be present to make the bone bend while making the movement. While making the movement, the muscle actually will get shortened. When it gets shortened, it will make the bone also to get bent little. It will make bone also to get bent little. So if it has to make the bone to get bent little, it must exert considerable pressure on the bone. So it must have high strength. So only the tendons that connect the bone and muscle, they are having high strength. Why? When the muscle is making movement, initially it gets shortened. As it gets shortened, it will make the attached bone also to get slightly bent. If it has to make the bone to get slightly bent, with what it can do it? With the tendon. So if tendons are having less strength or only moderate strength, it is not possible. So only tendons are of highly strengthy. And elasticity is not much required. So they are having moderate or limited elasticity. Right now coming to cartilage. Cartilage also contains solid matrix, but this solid matrix is not like the hard matrix of the bone. Why? In bone, the matrix, hard matrix is made up of calcium and phosphorus compounds. Whereas in cartilage, the solid matrix is made up of sugars and proteins. So it is soft. It is not hard enough. It is only soft or flexible. The cells are also not densely packed. In the bone, the cells are densely packed. Here, the cells are loosely packed so that wide spaces are present in the cartilage. Wide spaces are present in between the cells of the cartilage. In which all places cartilage is present? In nose, in ear, okay, trachea, right? Larynx. Inside the trachea, there is another part, sound box, which is also called larynx. In all these parts, what does it provide? Cartilage provides mechanical flexibility to all these parts. While inhalation and exhalation, our nose would little get expanded. It should get little bit expanded and contracted. So mechanical flexibility. While the air is going inside trachea, while we are talking, the larynx will keep making the vibrations. So how it can get vibrations? If it is hard enough, it cannot do it. So it has to be moderately flexible and it should not get broken. So it must be in strengthy condition also. So only the larynx also should be strengthy and flexible. So in all these parts, strength as well as flexibility both are required. So only instead of just muscle being present or just bone being present, here cartilage is present. If only muscle is present, it is only flexible but not strengthy. If only bone is present, it is only strengthy but not flexible. If cartilage is present, both are achieved. Both strength as well as flexibility are achieved. Right? So only nose, ear, trachea, larynx, the cartilage is present, wherein mechanical flexibility is provided. In plant tissues, we have learned parenchyma. It provides mechanical flexibility to the branches so that the branches will keep getting shaken whenever the air comes or wind blows. So that the branches and leaves will keep shaking but without getting broken. Like how Parenchyma provides the mechanical flexibility allowing the parts to move down and up without getting broken. In the same manner, the cartilage that is present in nose, ear, trachea, larynx, it allows the vibration or movement of those parts without getting the particular part broken. Right. Now coming to at the ends of the bones, here this bone and this bone are joined here. The ends of these two bones, they are covered with cartilage. Why? When you are making the movement, these two bones are rubbing with each other. If it is not covered with anything, because of the rubbing, there is a chance of erosion, means the bone will get corroded with each other and the bone will be losing its structure. In order to protect that abrasion or frictional effect, the ends of the bones, especially at the joints, they are covered with cartilage. This cartilage covering, which is present at the ends of the bones at the joints, it smoothens the bone surface. It smoothens the bone surface at the joint so that the frictional forces will be reduced. Next, areolar connective tissue. This areolar connective tissue, it is a special connective tissue. It is present between skin and muscles, around the blood vessels and around the nerves, and it is even present inside the bone marrow. What is the function of this areolar connective tissue? It fills the space inside the organs. Between the skin and muscle there is some space. That space is filled with areolar connective tissue. And around the blood vessels and other parts there is some space. That space is filled with areolar connective tissue. Around the nerves and the remaining tissues, there is some space. That space is filled with areolar connective. It is mainly filling tissue, you can say. So, like how if a particular doll is kept in a box, okay, in between the box, that curtain and the actual doll, there is some filling tissue, filling coverings we will keep. So, like that, the areolar connective tissue, it will fill. And what does it actually help? Okay, this will provide support. When some filling is there in the doll, in the box where the doll is kept, what will happen? It will provide the support to that doll. So sometimes we will bring the eggs in grass. What the grass will do actually? Grass will provide support. In the same way, areolar connective tissue, it supports the internal organs, and if any repair is taking place, that maintenance process, it helps in that repair process. Next, adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a special connective tissue that stores the fat globules. Okay, fat is stored. Where it is present? It is also present below the skin. Okay, below the skin and above the areolar connective tissue, the adipose tissue is present. And in between the internal organs also, the adipose tissue is present. And adipose tissue, it acts as insulator. Why? Because fat is the poor conductor of heat. So, either chilliness or heat, both cannot go through this fat. Because fat is poor conductor of heat. So, as the adipose tissue stores the fat, the adipose tissue acts as insulator. It acts as insulator. So, these are various types of connective tissues. Next, we will discuss about the muscular tissue. In our body, muscular tissue is basically present in two forms: voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles, based on their function. Means the voluntary muscles, they function or they make movements based on our will. If we think or if we intend to make movement, then only those muscles will make movement. And involuntary muscles, they will keep making movements whenever it is actually required without our thinking, like our heart muscle and the muscles inside the internal organs or visceral organs. So they are also called visceral muscles. That is based on their function. Based on structure, the muscles are of two types. Okay, like striated muscles and non-striated muscles. Striped muscles are non-striped muscles. Non-striped muscles are also called smooth muscles. Okay, under striated muscles we will discuss both skeletal muscles and cardiac muscles. Under non-striated or smooth muscles we will discuss visceral muscles. Okay, right. This is how we can discuss about the internal structure and how the muscles make movement and what will be the internal structure of inside the muscle. In cardiac muscle, what things will be present. In visceral muscles, which things will be present. In skeletal muscles, what all cells are present. All those things let us discuss in the next session. Thank you.